They got a literal silhouette of Lavonte David, and it's got a number of attributes that they're looking for in players that they draft. And that's got to make you feel really proud to think that you're the standard.
Pretty amazing, man. When I got that phone call, when he called me, he told me, hey, man, I'm coming to your guys' locker room. You guys don't treat me no different. And when he said that, I'm like what? Like, bro, like, whatever you want in this locker room, you can have it, bro. It's yours. This is your locker room now. What are you talking about? I always tell him, he's a linebacker at quarterback. And that's why, I love him. Playing this game, you got to still have fun, and you got to still love it.
Welcome to the Green Light Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT and you'll get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code GREENLIGHT. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just make sure you use bonus code GREENLIGHT when you sign up. I'm your host, Chris Long, and I will be interviewing just one of the all-time most respected players in Buccaneers history, if not, like, honestly, in this generation, when next to the word underrated, because I think underrated and overrated are really subjective terms where it's like, you say, who's the most overrated guy, who's the most underrated guy? I don't know. Who's doing the rating? Are you listening to ESPN? Are you looking at Pro Football Focus? Are you asking fans in the concourse? I think, it's hard to pin that down. But when I think underrated, and I think most people would agree, Lavonte David is one of the first names next to that word in the dictionary, in the NFL dictionary. The fact that he's only made one Pro Bowl speaks to how that process is a little bit broken. He literally is the blueprint for their draft picks in Tampa. I'll ask him about that. Just a fantastic dude. Anybody that's ever played with him loves him. And fantastic opportunity to sit down and talk some football with Lavonte David here coming up in a moment. If you're a Bucs fan and you're joining us, please stick around, watch some of our other videos. But one question I would have for you, and I ask some of the fan bases this from time to time, say you've got a suite at Raymond James Stadium. By the way, y'all could use a pool like Jacksonville. That would be pretty cool. A pool in Tampa, pirate pool. But can you imagine you had a free suite and you could fill it with all your friends and 4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers from any era? And, the criteria is some mixture of, like, were they your favorite player, but were they really cool? Like, did they seem cool off the field? Who would you have in your suite? You get 4 names. Please comment below if you had a luxury suite at Raymond James, and in this case, hypothetically, you had a pool. Who would you have in your suite? Lavonte David's got to be one of them. I mean, especially if you grew up in this era watching the Bucs. But I'm curious to see what y'all think. So enjoy the interview, and we will be back later in the week. Make sure to check out our division previews. The NFC East division preview is already out. And we're going to tackle another division later this week. We'll have more guests. All through the month of August, we will be covering each division. So pop around, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching Lavonte David on Greenlight. I'm lucky to be joined by, I guess this is how I'd put it, this generation's Mr. Buccaneer. I mean, he's going into year 14. I just found out he's 35 years old, and that makes me feel old. Joining me now is Lavonte David. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. You still young. Just know that you're still young. You're not old.
That's why I'm shaving, dude. I just turned 40. I had to start cutting the beard back a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep the youthful glow.
I'm going to have to start doing the same. I got some grays creeping in.
Grays. That'll happen when you're getting guys lined up for 15 years. So putting it all in perspective,
Hmm.
I look back at who the guys were in 2012 when you came to Tampa,
Hmm.
and one of the guys is one of my Virginia brothers,
Hmm.
Ronde Barber. He
Yeah.
was 37 at the time, and he was kind of the standard bearer there. It
Hmm.
seemed like, or one of them. And it seems like the torch has been passed to you. Is it surreal to think of yourself now as that kind of that OG man, that guy that seen it all? The rookies come in, they're like, "That's
Yeah.
really Lavonte David." Is that kind of a surreal feeling?
It is, man. It is. And like I come to realization, I just have to accept it. I just remember like me first coming in and being that same way about Runday, how I thought about him, how, such a terrific player he was. And I got a chance to play with him and I saw why he's, a Hall of Fame player. And now, coming into a younger locker room, a lot of guys coming to me and kind of like looking at me as that same way. And I kind of feel like how he felt, you know.
Right.
But it is surreal, man. I thank God every day. I never thought I'd be at this point in my career and life as well. So definitely a blessing. I'm embracing it. I'm accepting it. I'm happy about it. I'm not tripping at all.
No, I mean it's an amazing privilege and one that you've earned to demand the respect of everybody that walks in the room immediately. And I
Hmm.
kind of wonder though, you've made. Do you know how many tackles you've made off the top of your head?
I do
Solo?
not know. I do not know.
Okay, so 1,100 solo tackles.
Hmm.
Your body has got to feel like a little bit different at this stage in your career. And I wonder, like, for somebody who probably loves taking reps,
Hmm.
and you're probably fighting to get all the reps you can in
Hmm.
camp, like, at this stage in your career and during game week, are you able to take some mental reps and change the way you prepare, or do you have to take them all?
Oh man, it's a hard question. Something that I battle with every time. Sometimes I have to get forced off the field. Sometimes, I be like, yeah, I'm cool with those reps right there, and I'm good. But being a football player, man, being a student of the game, and knowing how the game goes week in and week out, you want to get all those reps. You want to get the feel, and you want to kind of like just try to understand how it's gonna be when you out there. But like you said, man, you get older, you got to get some of those reps to the younger guys, man. You got to get the ones that really going to count. But for the most part, man, it did get to a point where I'm like, nah, you can't practice, nah, you can't take these reps. So I'd be cool with it, but just being a competitor and being a student of the game, I'd be wanting to be out there and take all those reps. But at the end of the day, man, you got to understand your body can't, can't your body ain't the way it used to be. Little small injuries kind of linger now. When you get a little older up in age, back then it just go away the next day. But now, nah, they'll still be there. You got to treat it. So, I just try to avoid that by, maybe, cutting down the reps here and there. But, they do a good job with me being transparent and talking and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, man. It's still fun, to see that, they see that I still care. And then it's good for me to see that, for them to see that I still care about it and getting those reps and stuff like that. But they got to hold me back sometimes.
Dude, I hear you, but that stuff hurts the older you get. And
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, for you, because you're such a student of the game and somebody who seems to diagnose plays in the run game before they even happen. I mean, you're so disruptive. You got some of the most tackles for losses out of anybody to play your position. I think since Urlacher or something like that. Like, so I just, with your preparation, was it always a thing where you were a film junkie? Did you always understand how to watch film, or was that a process on learning how to watch film smart, like watch it in the right
Yeah.
sequence and know what to look for, and who taught you?
Yeah, it's a development process. When I first started watching film, I used to just, watch the defense, watch what we have to do, study guys in front of me and things like that. Learning what my job is and trying to hone in on what we can do defensively and, what everybody's supposed to be at until, I developed, once I learned that and then I just took it to the next level and just, studying the offenses and then understanding how offenses attack you and certain personnel that teams like to run, that stuff kind of, made it easier for me. And who I learned it from, man, I just picked it up from everybody. A lot of coaches that I had throughout learning. Greg Schiano was a real, film junkie type guy. So we used to watch film a lot with him. Lovey Smith, you kind of learn some things because, the defense that we ran was just strictly cover two for the most part. So you kind of got to study, all the beaters of cover two. So I kind of like understand what offenses try to run against us and things like that. And then going into Mike Smith, we kind of ran a lot of quarters coverage, so kind of understand what route concepts and runs, what people try to beat you in that, and Coach Bowles' defense is a lot of different things. So just try to pick up on formations and personnel groupings that offenses like to run that give you kind of like a little small hand and stuff like that to give you an advantage and things like that. So I'm an anticipation guy, so I like to really anticipate, so that's why I kind of like study offensive personnel and who's in the game and what teams like doing certain personnel and stuff like that. So that helps me get an edge and stuff like that on game day.
Has the game changed, schematic? I mean, it's obviously changed schematically a lot since you came in the league, but for a guy like me that came in '08, I noticed over my career, the run game changed. It was more sideline to sideline. There wasn't as much power football, wasn't as much gap scheme. You get more gadgets, you get the RPOs, you get all this stuff. What do you think was the toughest trend to adjust to as a backer over the past 15 years?
Oh man, I want to say the run game is coming back to the trap and the power
Yeah.
wars and the counters and stuff like that. It's not just strictly down here runs no more. It's a lot of misdirection type things that you kind of gotta like adjust to. You seeing guys moving all over the place, and you gotta reading your keys and stuff like that. And I think offense is knowing that linebackers, particular, read keys. Like we get a beat off certain things, so offense is kind of like implementing, moving a guy here and there and making the guy going one way and then coming back the other way and kind of getting us a little bit of off balance so we can get reached and stuff by the old linemen and things like that. But that's just things that you just gotta pick up on and stuff like that. I think it's that Sean McVay system where he coming along doing all that stuff like that. So that's why I see the game kind of like going to now. A lot of offenses doing a lot of misdirections, getting your eyes all over the place and going one way in here and things like that. So, but it's fun though. It's a challenge. I like like as a competitor, you like those type of challenges just to see like how can I kind of like pick up on small things without hurting myself and things like that, and being able to still make those plays that I used to make.
Is there one offense around the league that really impresses you as far as like the way they marry the run and the pass, the play action looks, the way they sell play action, make everything look the same? I mean, obviously Detroit comes to mind when I think about the run game,
Yeah,
but yeah, like a whole operation that impresses
yeah,
you.
yeah. I would say Detroit. The Rams. My division opponent, Atlanta, got a little bit of that.
Yeah,
Shoot, going against Liam Cohen last year in practice, you saw a lot of that. Probably a couple more, maybe miss San Francisco. They big
yeah.
on that. Yeah, they probably the kings of it. All their stuff look the same for sure. And it could be tricky, but it's certain things here and there that you can pick up on that kind of like help you out big time.
Well, yeah, I won't ask you what those are because then we'll have to cut that from the show because we got
Yeah,
tips and tricks that
yeah,
David gets an early step on people. But like, so I mean, you mentioned Atlanta. I was gonna go there eventually, but like they were tough to deal with for y'all last year. I know. They also kind of trended away from play action. I think part of it was because of Kirk's mobility. I assume they're going to go back to it. What makes that group so tough, and just how good can Bijan Robinson be?
yeah.
Because I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, man. Like you just said it right there, man. They're athletes, or the guys who they playmakers. Cal Pitts, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Barry McLeod, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, all those guys. They got great playmakers, man. They like all interchangeable. They all can do the same thing, and that's what I think what makes them tough. They got guys who can make plays with the football, and it all starts with Bijan Robinson, man, one of the toughest backs in the league, and all he's going to do is just keep getting better and better. And when he's in the game, you got to account for him in the pass game and in the run game. And, that's what make it difficult for defenses, especially a guy like him. They want to give him the ball in space
Yeah.
to make guys make open field tackles. And from what I see on film and playing against him, the first guy we usually never get him down.
Yeah.
So every time you play him, it's going to be a collective effort. But they got the weapons to get the job done. And as always, they're going to be a challenge for us and a tough opponent for us.
No question. We talk more about your division in a second, but one of the things that I didn't know, man, and I guess a bunch of people know this, but you are referred to as that man in Tampa,
Yeah.
which is well deserved, but that they got a literal silhouette of Lavonte David, and it's got a number of attributes that they're looking for in players that they draft. And that's got to make you feel really proud to think that you're the standard in an organization that's had so many great defensive players.
Yeah, man, it was pretty cool to find that out. I found that out right at the interview of last year when I signed, and Jason was talking about it. I'm kind of like confused. I'm like, huh, what? And just after the fact, I'm kind of like asking him, talking to him, and he's like, yeah, that's a big deal, for me, coming from where I come from, and just grinding and just getting up to this level, just basically kind of like being happy to be here, and then for them to just tell me, spring that on me, and say that they kind of like try to mold guys into how I carry myself and the things that I do. It's pretty amazing, man. Every time people bring it up, I be kind of like appalled, pull back a little bit, but it's pretty cool, man, and got a lot of respect for them.
No, I mean that's great, and such an impressive organization that you guys have been able to, the last 5 years, you kind of own the division and stick the landing on changing quarterbacks and that sort of thing. Like not a lot of teams do that. You guys don't get enough credit. Kind of like you don't get enough credit. The Bucs don't get enough credit, but that's okay. Has there been a guy that y'all have drafted in the past, say 5-7 years, that you're like, he fits the mold and he could take the torch and be the next Lavonte David? He could be the next standard bearer for this defense. Is there a particular guy that when he showed up, you're like, man, this guy's a pro. This guy's everything we want?
I'm gonna say it all the time, man. Anton Winfield
I
Jr.
knew it.
Yeah, he's he kind of his dad, like yourself,
Yeah.
you guys, dad kind of played in the NFL for a very long time, was very really good at what they did, and he kind of had the blueprint on what to do, and he's carrying it out really, really well. I just remember the first time him coming in, and as a safety, as a rookie and safety playing this defense is really tough. You know what I'm saying? And when he came in, started talking, firing things out, giving coverage calls and things like that, I'm like, okay, he got what it takes, and then just seeing him play throughout and keeping that consistency, and being a good dude off the field, and still being a great teammate and being a great player on the field. He's exactly what what we need, and what it's gonna continue to the Bucs gonna continue to build around.
I feel real gratified because I was like, man, I hope he says Winfield.
Yeah,
Winfield's a dog, man. He's
yeah,
just,
for sure.
you could tell from the minute he got in, he knew how
Yeah.
to be a pro. And speaking of that standard, y'all got a couple rookies that I know they can't wait to see play. One being a Mecca outside. I know Mike Evans has raved about him. What have you seen from him in camp thus far?
Yeah, man. What I see from him, man, he carried himself like a vet already, taking care of himself, being where he's supposed to be. Just the way he practice is great to see. Obviously, he learning from guys like Mike and Chris Godwin. It's cool to see, and he's picking their brain. You see him picking their brain, and just trying to be, what he can do, be what he can be. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get picked first, it's always tough, a lot of pressure on you. But when you got veterans like that, it kind of calm you down, and you can see it. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and we got high hopes for him, man. And I think he's gonna make some plays for us and help us out in the long run for sure.
And I know it's tough being there's some positions that it's harder than others to be a rookie at, and I think corner is one of them. But Benjamin Morrison, a
Sure.
guy y'all need to step up, right? And fair or unfair, he's got to play big for y'all. I mean, what kind of player is he? What's his style
Yeah.
of play? What have you seen so far from him?
Very confident, very confident. And playing corner in this league, you got to be real confident. And he got it. He got it, man. He got that twitch. He got that competitive nature in him, and he never want to lose. You know what I'm saying? He never want to lose a rep, and that's what I love about him, man. It just when you look at a DB, right, and they get a pass caught on them or whatever, you want to see them get upset about it. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of those dudes who's like that. And nobody wants a DB who don't compete. And he's one of those guys who definitely compete. And our other rookie as well, Jacob Parrish. Both of those guys are like feisty, competitive, bite your kneecap type guys, out there at corner. So, I love to see it. And, when you see that out of your DBs, all it does is just give you a lot of confidence and stuff like up front, knowing, they're going to be holding it down for you in the back end. And just seeing those guys making plays, having fun. For me, I feel confident myself.
That's exciting, man. It's got to be exciting for the defense. And then another guy that shows up, last time we saw him really play was in Philly, and he was an absolute game wrecker up there in Hassan Reddick. Obviously, year off of football. I think everybody's holding their breath, waiting to see, is he the same guy? How does he look, and how's he fitting into that front, which I think has got some pretty underrated pieces outside.
Yeah, man, he's fitting in really well. He's emerging as a leader in that group, in that room already. He's an older guy. A lot of guys kind of gravitate to him, but he's carrying it really well. A lot of people, piggyback on him, ask him questions, things like that, and he's asking questions, knowing some older guys, veterans, who comes in, kind of thinking they know it all. Sometimes may want to, try to do things they will, whatever. But he's coming in completely buying in. And asking questions, leaning on the coaches and leaning on players who play in the defense and stuff like that. And I feel like he's going to be a great compliment to Yaya Diaby. Was one of our top guys last year. I think they complement each other well, man. They got two different styles of games, but they definitely be game wreckers.
As a power rusher, I like watching Diaby play.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of bully mentality. I just like watching him play, and I think he's underrated. I think you guys got a bunch of underrated guys. One guy that's not underrated, everybody knows about him. Got to spend some time with Vita at the Super Bowl. About the chillest dude you'd ever meet, but not a guy you'd want to have to block.
Right.
Can you put into terms how great it is for your job every day and just your experience off ball?
Yeah.
For a guy like that to show up and eat up space in front of you?
Yeah, man. You see, I'm still going just because of guys like him. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta touch.
We need to keep him safe. We need to keep him safe, bro.
Keep him safe, man. Keep him safe. I always pop in the D-line room, asking everybody good if they need anything. They like my bodyguards. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm kind of like I'm eating off them. But Vita, man, he's a guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's somebody who, you'll take the bat for it anytime. He's a guy who, is going to give his hardest all the time. What the thing that I love about Vita, man, is just like he's not just a 2-down guy. He's a 3-down guy. He want to rush the passer too. And he takes pride in that. That's why he's so dominant in the run game, because he's going to get the chance to rush the passer himself. So, I love to see it, man. You don't see many guys, his size moving the way he do, doing the things that he does, and he takes pride in it, and that's what I love about him. Great dude, man. Great friend of mine off the field. And me and Vita have a great relationship, obviously for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's got to be, dude. That's got to be your best friend, dude.
Right.
What's so funny about him is he don't wear gloves. To me, that's just that's crazy, dude. He looks crazy out there.
Yeah, he don't wear gloves at all. And one thing you don't, when he's dominant as he is, that's just him being cool. You got to see him being angry, man. Once he get angry, it's hard to stop. I seen him get angry before, and I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that.
What's the maddest you ever seen him?
I think I seen him in practice one day getting mad. He got mad in practice one day, and you know how offenses are. Stay away from the quarterback or whatever. And he just kind of like got upset. Like that's not my job to stay away from the quarterback. Tell your offensive line to stop letting us get to the quarterback. And then he just went off the whole practice, just pissed off, but just was dominating. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that.
No, sir. One time I saw Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald got mad at a guy in practice and ripped his face mask off.
Yeah.
And started fighting him with the face, hitting him with the face mask.
Yeah.
Just some of those guys, it's better just leave them alone. The other guy,
just leave him alone.
Just leave him the fuck alone. The other guy that I'm curious about is this big old dude running laps. All I've seen him is running laps.
Oh yeah.
The kid from Florida,
Yeah.
Desmond Watson. How's he
Yeah.
doing? Is he still running? How's his attitude about having to
Yeah.
run all those damn laps?
Yeah, man, he's good, man. He's doing his best to try to get out there on the field with us. We want him out there with us, and he's doing his part. You know, that's what I love to see, man. He's doing his part, being what he's supposed to be, and getting himself to where he need to be at to get out there on the field with us. You know, he's anxious, and you know, he got a chance to taste it doing OTA and stuff like that. And I'm sure he want to be out there with us for camp. But he just reckons where he needs to be, and you know, the trainers and everybody in the strength staff doing a great job with him. And he's still involved in the locker room and being in the meetings and stuff like that. I mess around with him. I called him up for his rookie performance the other day.
How
So
was
you
it?
know, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
Oh
But
shoot! What did he
yeah,
sing?
but
Did he sing?
what did he sing? I forgot what he sung,
And are
but he
y'all
did.
still allowed to make people sing? Like I
Oh,
thought they
for
were.
sure.
Okay,
Nah, we still
good.
good. We still got that going. You know, as
You
long
still
as I'm
cut hair?
around, nah, we ain't gonna take
Ain't
it
no
that
hair
far.
anymore.
Yeah, we ain't doing the haircutting. But as long as I'm around, I'm gonna need a little bit of entertainment from the rookies.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I wonder how tough it was back in 12. That was kind of, in my opinion, when the CBA started changing, the rules
Yeah,
were changing a little bit.
yeah.
The vets were a
I
little
think lenient.
lenient. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
You remember your
yeah.
rookie dinner?
I remember my rookie dinner. It wasn't as bad. I had some cool vets, so it was me and Najee Good. Oh, I think you played
Yeah,
with
I played
Najee
with
and
Good. I know
yeah,
Najee. I
yeah,
talked to him a
yeah.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah, me and Najee was the rookie backers. We was in the same draft class, so we was the rookie backers. We went to a steakhouse here called Charlie's, and they took it. They did. They took it easy on us. So we definitely appreciate our vets for that.
That's
But
cool. Yeah.
we handled our duties, man. We ain't come in, you know, being stubborn and nothing like that. We knew what was expected of us, so we just came in and did what we were supposed to do. So they showed us love, and all my vets, I'm still cool with to this day, man. Talk to those guys often. They still be around the building and stuff like that. So I like to say I did my job as a rookie.
Except that Dan Orlovsky, he's just on TV talking shit.
Dan, yeah, man, Dan. I still remember my rookie year. We was in the weight room. We was just the rookies lifting. You know, we got to they separate the rookies from the vets or whatever. So we was in the weight room lifting, and Dan was in there too as well. But I don't think nobody knew he was in there. And he might remember this. We changed the music in the weight room, and Dan came over and lined up like made us huddle up and cursed everybody out, cursed all the rookies out. And
Dan?
yeah, Dan did. Dan did, man. He
What was he
cursed us out.
listening to?
I don't remember. I don't remember what he was listening to, but I know for a fact he came over and cursed us out and said we ain't earned the right to touch the studio, the radio, and stuff like that. So if you
Dan!
talk to him, you know, kind of give him a hard time about that, I'm sure he remembers. I know he remembers for a fact.
Golly, Dan. Tough vet, dude. But he wants control of the aux, man. What the fuck? And he was
Yeah,
probably listening to like Dirk Bentley. Anyways, so the guy I got to ask you about, I asked you a lot about defense.
yeah,
This is the thing that's confused me the most about Bucky Irving is
yeah.
listed at 5'10", 194. Ain't no way, dude. Is he the densest? I mean, you guys got to thud these guys up. I don't know how much you go
Yeah.
live in camp, but like to me, he doesn't play like he's 194.
We play bigger, right?
He plays bigger.
Yeah, he plays bigger, man. Bucky got the heart of a 6'2", 230-pound back, man. But you know, but move like his size says. I love Bucky. He got a great heart, man. He's passionate about the game, and you know, he always, you know, trying to find ways to be better. You know, he's one of the first guys in the building, and one of the last guys out, just preparing and getting his body together. And it's rare you see that from a young guy. And from the first time Bucky walked in the locker room, he was that way. And that's something you got to appreciate and something that you got to respect. And it shows on the field. You know, his preparation, um, his studying, you know, his feet work, you know, everything he does, he's a total package. And, you know, we're going to expect a lot out of Bucky this year, too, as well. And I'm sure he expects a lot out of himself. But, you know, he welcomes it open arms, man. And that's what you got to love about him.
You know, the Baker thing, and I've always been a Baker fan because he played in Cleveland. I mean, that's not easy. You know, it's like when you I was on a team didn't make the playoffs. Well,
Yeah,
shoot, we barely won for 8 years. I mean, it was
yeah,
a lot like your
yeah,
situation
yeah,
where, of course, I had to change teams to win, but you just stayed home and waited for
yeah,
the talent to come to you. But like the Baker thing, with his struggles in Cleveland and the way people kind of discarded him. Do you remember when he got to the team? Like, how was his attitude? Did he seem like a guy who kept this confidence? Because to me, that's always been his best attribute.
yeah.
He's got that kind of like position player mentality, that confidence about him.
Yeah, man. When I first met Baker, you just seen a chip on his shoulder. You seen that he had a fresh opportunity, a fresh start, and you seen a little glow about him. I think he came into the situation where like he didn't have to press or have to be somebody that he's not. You know what I'm saying? All he did, it came in. All we told him was just, be himself. And that's what you're seeing. Him out there having fun and just being himself. He came to a locker room with veterans, guys who, got leadership, great locker room, great camaraderie. And he just came in and just, fit right in. With his swagger, with his demeanor, it fit right in what we're trying to do. His toughness. A lot of the games that we played this past year, we kind of like, thrive off Baker's energy and stuff like that. And that's what we wanted to see. Just him be himself. Him, doing a little first down celebrations and flexing and stuff like that. And, I always tell him, he's a linebacker at quarterback. And that's
Yeah.
why, I love him. But at the same time, he tell him like, hey, man, you got to be safe too because we need you.
Yeah.
But, I'm just very happy for him, man. He's having fun. That's what I like to see. If you're playing this game, you got to still have fun and you got to still love it. And you see that, you see that joy in his eyes every time he takes the field. He's always in the locker room smiling, and it's great to see that.
Yeah. His energy is definitely contagious, man. And
Yeah,
is Thad Lewis still there?
yeah. Thad Lewis, still quarterback coach.
Yo, you gotta tell Thad I said what's up. He was in St. Louis with me. That's my dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And I heard he was working with Baker, and one of the things that he was trying to do last year was get Baker to move the pocket a little bit more, extend some plays a little bit more. But you
Okay.
also want Baker to stay healthy too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely got to
One
stay
guy
healthy.
that wasn't moving the pocket was Tom Brady, right?
All right.
But Tom, you got a chance to play with Tom, just a great guy. And I heard you talk about the first time you talked to him when he called you and he was like, "Hey, I want you to treat me like a regular guy." Can you tell people what Tom the teammate was like? Because I think a lot of people have a misconception of what he might be like
Yeah,
as a
man.
teammate.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a guy who had that misconception as well. I was kind of judging him, just off of his greatness. Just understanding like a guy like this caliber, what I'm saying? He's probably don't want to be bothered all the time. He probably just want to come in, work, and go home, and whatever it may be. But when I got that phone call when he called me, all that went out the window. When he told me, "Hey, man, I'm coming to you guys' locker room. You guys don't treat me no different. Make allow me to earn my respect from you guys." And when he said that, I'm like what? Like, bro, like whatever you want in this locker room, you can have it, bro. It's yours. This is your locker room now. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
You want my
But for
locker,
him,
bro?
yeah, exactly. But once he said that, man, it kind of like changed my whole perception of Tom, man. Still to this day, man, great dude. Got a lot of respect for him, man. Obviously, man, he changed my life around big time. You know what I'm saying? So, just watching the way he works, the attitude that he brung the day in and day out, a extremely competitive guy. Uh, Practice like game days for him, man. Everything he just details coaching throughout the whole practice, and you kind of see why he's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. And I'm happy that I got a chance to share 3 years with him, man. And helped me get over a hump that I was trying to get over for a very long time that I thought that I may not ever get over. But um, definitely was a privilege to, watch him work and just be the guy that I didn't think he was, but in the same way was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As the person, just a welcoming guy, whatever you need, you could ask for it. Uh, there for you, for advice. Uh, joke around with you,
Yeah.
sit down, have a conversation with you in the locker room couch, chilling with the guys, help you with, use his resources, lend his resources to you, whatever it may be. And then on the field, just watching the way he worked, and just seeing him kind of like, you know, take a back seat in a sense. Sometimes when you got quarterbacks, they want to, get in the huddle and, do all the rah-rah talking and stuff like that. But he was never that guy. You know what I'm saying? You want to come out, you guys do your thing, and I'm going to lead you guys to victory. But all us, he was just always a team guy. And everything was about team for him. And I kind of understand why he got 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget when I walked into New England,
Hmm.
free agent, all that shit.
Hmm.
And he walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Tom. Nice to meet you." I was like, like same
Yeah.
type of thing where I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, I know what this guy's about, but he treated everybody in the building the same way.
Same
The
way, man. Same way.
janitor, the trainers, like
Yeah.
everything. And I think that's a
Yeah.
really good barometer for what
Yeah.
type of guy he is.
Hmm.
So I want to talk uniforms for a second, man, because
Yeah.
I think the creamsicles are among the best uniforms in NFL history.
Yeah.
And to hear that y'all get to wear them 3 times this year,
Yes,
you got to
sir.
be jazzed, bro.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts when it comes to how do you dress that up?
I'm jacked up about it, man. I had a run where the uniforms wasn't so good.
I know.
so
That was my next thing.
yeah, but the uniforms wasn't so good. But to put these on, I think the white ones are way better than the orange creamsicles. I think those are pretty icy. I think a lot of guys gonna swag them out in different ways. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but definitely looking forward to throwing them things on, man. And, the fans are really extremely happy about it. It just kind of put you in a sense of, where this program was at before and where we at now. And you just gotta, you gotta show your respect to the past, and that's why I enjoy wearing them. I got a chance to talk to some of the, guys who did wear those older uniforms, and have a relationship with those guys and kind of like represent them this year. It's the 50th anniversary of the organization, so
Oh, okay.
it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to be a part of.
Yeah, no question. And compare that with no disrespect, but the maybe some of the worst uniforms ever. You're such a good player. It must be easy to walk out and feel good. Like, you know how like look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah,
Like when you can run
yeah,
like you can run and you can see
yeah,
things. But for somebody like me, where I'm like, man, I got some love handles and maybe I don't feel so fast out there. I need something. If they threw those fucking alarm clock uniforms on me, I wouldn't even know what to do. So
yeah.
how hard was it to get feeling like you were sweet in those things, dude?
It was hard, man. It was really hard. You couldn't even coordinate it with anything. It's just the numbers was crazy. Oh man, it was just a lot going on. Like it just the pants felt too big, the jersey felt too big. I don't know, man. Nothing just didn't with the way they looked. Nothing. It didn't even seem like it fit right on you. Uh, it was just an awkward time.
Dude, it's an awkward
It,
time. Yeah,
it was a
but
weird
you didn't
time.
look bad in them. Like I went back and looked. I was like, oh, he still
Yeah,
looks like Lavonte David. But
yeah,
for some guys, you might have been really stressing on game day. Like, how do I possibly like some DB that's like really into how they look? Like,
yeah. Right, right,
you
right.
can't. I don't care how many fines you eat. I don't care how many. If you wear the high whites, you put a towel on the side. Those
Mm,
uniforms are still. And that was the time in your career, just the general like going back to the first 8 years, like before it turned for you,
yeah.
like that I mean, on a serious note, there had to be some dark times because been there. I mean, it's not easy when
Hmm.
every year it's the same result and you show up to camp and you're like, can we? You got to trick yourself to believe. You got to
Yeah,
trick the guys around you to believe. Like,
yeah.
what was the lowest point in that period for you?
Oh man. Uh, for me, say 2014 season. We went through. That was the first year in those uniforms, and we went 2-14 that season. We had a couple embarrassing losses, that season, and it was my third year. So, I'm still relatively young, but I'm growing into a leader. I think it was my first year being a captain, and kind of like just trying to like, emerge as a player and a captain and a leader, and just going through all that. It was very hard to kind of like, pull guys along when you're going through those tough times. And I'm still a young guy trying to learn for myself. So still, going through those years. And then, like you said, man, every year your mindset, you feel like you can win it. whatever the case may be. But it wasn't so good to like, you by week 10, you're not you're not gonna make it to the playoffs. Now you gotta like figure out like, man, like how can I keep pushing? How can I keep guys motivated to kind of like, say, hey man, like, you could still, play relatively good football, kind of like put some positive tape out there because you never know where you're gonna be at the next season. And that was kind of the tough part for me. Just by week 10, people saying they packing up their house already to go back home. Uh, People saying like, they're not gonna play as hard, just trying not to get hurt and stuff like that. So that's kind of tough to deal with. I mean, you did have some guys who really did, compete and like had love for the game, but then you had a few here and there kind of like knew the business part of it, basically like, oh, this is over, so I'm just kind of like try to protect myself to, make sure I'm healthy for the next season or to get another contract and stuff like that. So those sorts of tough things I had to, kind of like get over. And, I'm pretty positive the organization kind of like sensed a lot of those times going through that. So, it was hard, but like just to see the turnover that we had now, I mean, it is still a couple of some guys who I wish was with this regimen too, to kind of like for those guys to get their flowers as well. Like mainly my guy Gerald McCoy, Quan Alexander, Antoine Werner, EJ Bigger. There's a lot of guys who I could name to kind of like wish they can get this feel, instead of like being in that old regime and stuff like that. But it is what it is. But I'm definitely happy to be a part of the change. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different culture, different mindset, different attitude, and I'm definitely happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, you said it. Like I was gonna ask you if there was a guy you could have brought along with you for the good times, man. Like
Yeah,
you said it. There are guys that just never get to experience that, and it's just
yeah,
bad luck. They were just in the
right.
wrong place at the wrong time. But one thing that struck me about like the finding the motivation when you're out of it in November, and for me personally, the
Hmm.
motivation was always it comes natural when you're like, hey, this is on tape.
Yeah,
Like in our game, it's not like the NBA. No offense to the NBA, but like where
yeah,
you're playing basketball, it could be like a pickup game out there.
right.
Like we can get embarrassed like at any
Yeah,
play, like,
right.
and you don't want to put bad shit on tape. Like
Hmm.
that's pretty sobering when you got to go to the younger guys and be like, hey, you're auditioning for the rest of the league too. Like that's a tough
Yeah.
thing to do every year.
Yeah, that's the main part. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, like you gotta like people still watching film.
Yes.
So, you know what I'm saying, you gotta put some good tape out there, you know what I'm saying? You still wanna
Yeah.
play with that same effort that you had week one. You still wanna make those same plays that you've been making. You don't wanna go out there and be blatantly, you know, trying to stand out of harm's way and stuff like that.
Because that's how you get
Um
hurt too. By the
that's how you
way,
get hurt. Exactly. Stuff like that is how you
that's
get
why
hurt.
that's why you see me. I'd be trying to jump into a pile
Yeah.
rather than stand
Yeah.
behind the pile, jump
Right,
into it.
right,
It's
right.
safer that way.
Yeah, man, it's tough around there. It's tough around that pile, man. But that's the main thing, man. You still wanna, no matter what situation you in, man. Like at the end of the day, your name is on the back of that jersey, and you representing that person. So
That's right.
you want to kind of like walk off that field with your head held high, no matter win or loss. You want to make sure that you played your hardest, and that's how I look at the game. That's what I try to tell the young guys.
Well, I think that's why people respect you so much because you played your ass off when the chips are down, and
Hmm.
and you finally got your success later in your career from a team perspective. But one thing, and I know you've been asked about this a million times, but
Hmm.
how do you fix the Pro Bowl because it's broken if you've been once?
Yeah, man. You know, I never really cared for it, to be honest with you. Um, and then, as you get older, you kind of look back and be like, dang, and people bring up season, stats and stuff like that. And like, dang, yeah, I could have made the Pro Bowl with these numbers if it's based off that. Um, you know, it didn't work my way. You know what I'm saying? My first 8 years of my career, I was a 4-3 outside linebacker. So the way it was set up, I was going against basically pass rushers, edge rushers, 3-4 outside guys. So for the most part, those guys were considered outside linebackers, and I was too. So the chips didn't fall, how I wanted to fall and stuff like that. But I'm not sure it's that same way right now. But I remember me and Thomas Davis have a great relationship, and I remember there was a point with me and him talking about how when he was telling me how he wanted to change that rule and trying to change it and kind of like bring it to the league and like change it that way because when those guys are outside linebackers, they get paid as outside linebackers and not pass rushers. Those guys, file grievances and stuff like that because of that. So we like, hey man, like, I don't know how we could do it, but it's kind of in a sense similar. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's an outside linebacker, but we get it when he want to get paid like a pass rusher. So label him as a pass rusher. Don't label him as an outside linebacker because you have guys who really play linebacker who kind of like being hurt by this. But you know, I think it changed maybe when Shaquille Leonard maybe came in the league. He was labeled as an outside linebacker, and he was doing really good. And 1 year he didn't get Pro Bowl, but he made first team All Pro. Similar situation, same as me. And I think he went up. Whatever they did, they changed, and he started getting in as a linebacker. So I'm hopefully that stays afloat and things like that. So that was my difficult part, man. I like to say that I kind of like what's the test dummy to everything. So those accolades always helps in the long run. But at the end of the day, man, I was just out there playing the game that I love, man. And I'm just hope that my peers respect my craft.
They definitely do, and I think you're the rare person that, like, even without the accolades, the fans even know. Because usually the fans go off the accolades; they don't watch the game as closely.
Right.
But your standing in Tampa and your stats and the whole thing, the All Pros, they basically modeled their whole fucking draft room after you. So I think they forget. All right, so last little thread here.
Yeah.
You finished the year last year in a tough one against the Commanders.
Yeah.
All right, so I just think Jayden Daniels, and if I remember correctly, like one of the key plays was in like the high red, and it was a QB pull, and as a former edge guy, I just think about what a nightmare it is to play some of these quarterbacks now. And it even went this way from 2012 when you came in the league, but like definitely since 2008, where it's like the guys who can't run are fewer and far between now, right?
Right.
So like as a guy with you got a bunch of sacks in your career, like it's harder to get the guys down now.
Yeah.
You've had to play Cam Newton. You've had to be so Jayden Daniels. You got to see him last year. What makes him special, and then also just explain to a fan that doesn't understand why it's so difficult to account for that 11th hat.
Yeah, man, it's very difficult. With his athletic ability and his speed, you definitely got to account for it. I just remember the first game, he ran all over us. You know what I'm saying? He got himself out of a lot of trouble. You covering downfield, you look back, he's taking off. And, guys like, I'm getting frustrated about it, you know what I'm saying? Because they picking up extra downs. And, he using that to his advantage. I mean, can't knock him for it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to defend. You just got to be able to get him down the best way you can. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are very, agile, and he could beat you with his arm and his legs. Those guys are a different breed. And what I really like about Jayden was his growth. From the first game we played him, kind of saw that he was still a little hesitant, and still saw the rookie jitters in him, and then just watch him throughout the season. Then we play him in the playoffs, completely different quarterback. And that's what I love. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing guys, kind of like learn and continue to develop and grow. That shows me that, you really, cares about the game and care about getting better. And that's what I really appreciated about it. It was the first game wasn't as competitive, and then the playoff game obviously was competitive. Came down to the last second. So that's what I love about the game, man. Just to compete in just your best against my best, and seeing where you at and things like that. And obviously, we didn't get the win, but I felt like it was a competitive football game. And then just watching him grow and watching him, lead that football team to the NFC Championship as a rookie quarterback was very, very, very impressive. And I know Jayden. I know him throughout his whole process. We cool and things like that, but just to know somebody and see them progress the way he did was really good for me to see. And hopefully we'll have, another battle this upcoming season. Maybe we'll meet them in the playoffs. Maybe we won't. But I know it'll be a fun game again.
Yeah, no, that kid's a stud. And you've played, like I said, I mean, you saw 2015 Cam Newton twice.
Saw 2015 Cam Newton
Well,
twice.
hey, you had to be there, bro. What?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah,
people that might be a little too young because he made the news
yeah,
recently talking about this and
yeah,
that, and people were
yeah,
talking about this and that. But like
yeah.
to me, what can't get lost in that discussion
Hmm.
is what a bad motherfucker that guy
Yeah,
was in 2015.
yeah, man. I think it's kind of weird talking about like that, seeing people not giving him his flowers, and kind of like because like I played him in junior college too, and I knew what he was about. And watch him in Auburn, then continue that success in the league, and then specifically 2015, like everything worked. You could have 8, 9 guys in the box knowing he gonna run the ball, and he just be dominant. And then he was killing with the passing game, being accurate with passes, hitting guys. I'm played him twice, twice that season. So, it was a headache. It was a headache. Like I said, man, you coming in with all the confidence in the world, knowing that, hey, okay, about to play Cam and the Panthers, it's going to be a fun game. And then you just see him do all these crazy things, man. For a guy to be that big, he was moving extremely fast, So definitely, Cam definitely deserved his flowers, man. Everybody give him slack for that Super Bowl stuff, but he led that team, man, and he definitely won the MVP of the league. That should say all you can say about Cam Newton and his football career. So definitely got a lot of respect for him, man. I think other people should too.
Yeah, man. You saw him in JUCO. He had to be one of the biggest dudes on the
Yeah,
field.
yeah, he was, man. He
Biggest
played at
line.
Blinn College. I
Yeah.
played at Fort Scott Community College. We played each other in a national championship, a game that we should have won, might
Yeah.
I add. And we lost the game. A running clock, right? A running clock. We have to punt, so we run the clock down. But we didn't want to get a delay game, so we wanted to keep the clock running. So we punted the ball. 20-something seconds left. The punter was told to kick the ball out of bounds. The ball went this way and curved right back in the middle of the field. And the guy made one cut, took it back for the touchdown, scored with 12 seconds left on the clock. And the sad part about that is I was supposed to be on punt team, but they took me off because I had to spy Cam Newton that game. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, I can tell you're over it.
Yeah, I'm
I
over
can
it now.
tell you're totally
Yeah,
over it because you
yeah, I'm
don't.
over it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is amazing how good our memory is on games we lost. Hey,
Right,
bro,
right.
you remember everything. You 22 seconds ago. Was it windy out there? Why'd the punter?
It was windy. It was very
Because you
windy. It
were
was cold.
playing
It
out
was
in like
cold.
the prairie, right?
Yeah, we was playing at Pitt State College in Kansas. So I remember everything about that, but
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there.
No, everything has been great since that. So we're good. But yeah, man. Good luck this year, bro. And I'm wishing you nothing but the best health and,
Man,
and, and
appreciate you.
continued great play. Been a lot of fun watching you, and I hope you come back soon, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you,
Yeah.
man. When you talk to my guy Bo Allen, man, tell him I said what's up.
Dude, I was gonna ask. I was gonna be like, man, you had Bo and Vita Vea, two of the
Yeah,
biggest human
man.
beings.
My guys, man.
Bo's the man, dude.
I wanted Bo back so bad. I don't know what happened with that, but Bo is a real cool guy, man. The Butter King. I love that guy.
Butter King, bro. My kids get to meet all types of players, bro. They
Yeah.
friends with Lane Johnson. They FaceTime with Justin Jefferson. They
Yeah.
the whole thing
You're right.
with my work. But the person they're always like, hey, can we talk to the Butter King? When's the Butter King
Butter
coming back in
King.
town,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
So hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Well, good luck to you.
Appreciate you, my guy, man. Thank you for having me.